There are stories the world tries to forget. Stories buried beneath layers of science, religion, and disbelief. But every so often, one escapes. A case so disturbing, it shakes the foundations of both faith and reason. This is the real-life horror of Anneliese Michel, the girl who battled demons no one else could see, until it was too late. Anneliese Michel was born on September 21st, 1952, in the small town of Leibelfing in Bavaria, West Germany. She was raised in a deeply religious Roman Catholic household, a family marked by guilt, tradition, and a heavy sense of penance. Her mother, Anna, had a previous daughter who had died at a young age and carried the grief like a cross. Anneliese was seen as a chance for redemption. By all accounts, Anneliese was sweet, intelligent, devout. She prayed daily, attended Mass regularly, and often offered penance for the sins of others. But behind her serene eyes, something had already begun to stir. In 1968, at the age of 16, Anneliese suddenly collapsed at school. Her body seized violently, her limbs twisted unnaturally. She was diagnosed with temporal lobe epilepsy, a condition that can cause hallucinations, altered behavior, even religious visions. But Anneliese believed it was something more sinister. She began seeing shadows in the corners of rooms, hearing voices that cursed at her, and claimed that something was pressing down on her chest at night, choking the life out of her. Doctors prescribed anti-seizure medications, including Dilantin and later Tegretol, but the visions only intensified, and so did the fear. Over the next few years, Anneliese spiraled. Her family, confused and desperate, watched as her behavior turned violent. She would tear her clothes off, eat spiders, and lick her own urine from the floor. She claimed demons were inside her, controlling her every move. She would scream in multiple voices, each with their own tone and vocabulary, claiming to be Judas, Cain, Hitler, Nero, and even Lucifer himself. Her mother reported that she could smell burnt feces in rooms where Anneliese had been. Crosses were destroyed, rosaries broken, holy water burned her skin. The church hesitated. The doctors insisted it was mental illness. But Anneliese was convinced. She wasn't sick. She was possessed. In 1975, after years of pleading, the Catholic Church granted permission to perform the rite of exorcism under strict secrecy. Father Ernst Alt and Father Arnold Renz were assigned to the case. What followed was 67 documented exorcism sessions over a span of 10 months, all recorded on audio tape. In these sessions, Anneliese spoke in ancient languages that she had never learnt. She recited details about saints and theology that astonished even the priests. She growled, screamed, convulsed, and even mocked the church. Her voice would shift rapidly from a terrified girl to a guttural growl that seemed inhuman. She stopped eating. She knelt over 600 times a day until her knees were broken and bleeding. Her weight dropped to just 68 pounds. She said the demons wouldn't let her go, and she had accepted her suffering as atonement for the sins of others. On July 1st, 1976, Anneliese Michel died in her home. Cause of death was malnutrition and dehydration. Her autopsy revealed decayed knees, broken bones, and a starving body racked by months of trauma. She had begged the priest to stop, but also pleaded with them to continue, believing her soul was at stake. Her parents and the two priests were charged with negligent homicide. The trial drew international attention. The prosecution argued that she needed psychiatric help, not spiritual intervention. The defense argued that she was mentally sound and that what happened to her was real. The court disagreed. All four were found guilty, receiving suspended sentences and fines. But for many, the haunting question remained. Was she a victim of possession, or a victim of belief? Anneliese Michel's story has never faded. Her grave remains a pilgrimage site, visited by the faithful, the curious, and the skeptical. Her story inspired the 2005 film The Exorcism of Emily Rose, which dramatized her final days. Her audio recordings were studied, debated, and even feared, even by those who claim not to believe. Was Anneliese mentally ill? Did her faith push her over the edge? Or did she face something darker than we can comprehend? Perhaps the most chilling part of her story is that we may never truly know. Thank you for joining us on this journey into one of the darkest true stories in modern history. What do you believe? Let us know in the comments. Was this possession or something else? If you're drawn to stories that blur the line between fact and fear, subscribe, hit the bell, and enter the darkness with us every week. Until then, stay safe and keep your lights on.